Good morning, everyone. I welcome our today's speaker, Mr. Mohammad Shabir, Senior Consultant, Taif University, Saudi Arabia, and I welcome all the participants. Now, over to you, sir. I request you to start with the session.
Hello everyone, good morning. So hope you can see my screen, right? Everyone.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So see.
So you are not audible, Shabir, sir. So can you unmute your audio because you are not audible?
Okay now?
Yeah. Yes.
Hello?
Yes. Yes.
No, right? I'm audible now, right?
Yes, sir. You are audible.
Yeah. So these are the agenda of this session, right? That we will install Confluent into platforms on the Ubuntu 16.04 version. So I have specifically specified the version here because there is some limitation with the Confluent platform. It doesn't work it doesn't support actually on all platforms. So we will see the official documents, official docs for this. And once we will install this, then we will explore Confluent platform, how to work on the Confluent platform, right? And after that, we will write our own custom producer application to produce some data to the topics using producer API. Once our application is ready, then we will create jar file and we will see how to deploy our producers applications. Similarly, we will write our consumer customer applications. Actually, both our application we will write in Java and we will use IntelliJ IDE. So let's see the agenda first. Let's start with the agenda. So see you can see here that the requirement is you have to download Java 7 or later version, and then you have to download the Confluent community version from this. So let's visit the official website. I'll show you something here, right? You can see here, right? Install Confluent platform. Now you can see the system requirement, and it is listing the operating system here. Red Hat, Debian, and Ubuntu 16.04 version, right? So you can see the Windows is not currently supported, right? So you will not get much features on the window, but there is some trick you can install. And Mac, you can see here Mac OS supported for testing and development purpose only. You cannot make it for productions, right? So this is the some limitation. That's why I'm showing you this Confluent platform on Ubuntu 16.04. But anyway, if you want to try on Windows, so you can use only CLI level command, right? So in this section, I'm going to show you installations on Ubuntu 16.04. Right. So similar like the code installation, it is very easy. Today we will download the Confluent platforms and we will extract. You can see here extract Confluent platforms for any locations where we want to install. Right. So from this link we can download the Confluent platform. right? So here there is a download link, right? Right. We can go to the download, and you can see here the cloud-based. We don't care about the cloud. We are here the self-managed software, and here in this self-managed software there is some commercials and community version. Right. So you can see the feature. It is listing what are the features you will get in the Confluent Cloud, and what are the features in the self-managed software. Is the open source or app commercials. Right. In commercials you will get so many features here, and in the community version there is a list. But this is okay to start with. Right. So from here, download community features. I clicked it here. The Tarball. I downloaded the Tarball. Just enter your email ID, and that's it. And it will download on your machines. Once it is downloaded on your machine, it is around 1.04 GB. So it's very huge. So you have to download. Yeah, and system must be minimum 8 GB. Otherwise, your system will stuck hang. Right. So I will show you the performance of the system as well. Yeah, you will see, right? Here right now it is using 3.4 GB, right? You can see the memory here. Currently 3.4 GB is being used with my systems. Because of this, I have opened so many browsers tabs here, right? Now you will see it will increase as I will start installations, and when we will start the content platform. So I have 7.7 GB, even though it will make my system slow. So make sure that your system minimum 8 GB. You must have 8 GB, right? Okay, let's start installations. What we have to do as per the slides, that let's see I have downloaded, right? I have downloaded that Confluent platforms, right? I'll show you the Tarball here I downloaded. You can see here, I extracted, right? After that, I copy in my home directory here, right? Now I have copied, right? And after that, what we have to do, once I extracted on a particular location, so here I will set the same Java home, Confluent home, and one more environmental variable I have to set Confluent current. Actually, this is for the data. Remember that yesterday I was creating the data folder. Inside data folder, I was creating Kafka folder to store the Kafka data, for Zookeeper to store the Zookeeper, right? So today we will just create only data folder, and after data folder, because of this link, Kafka Confluent will automatically create so many folders there, right? So many folders automatically it will create inside the data. You can see here, right? So I have created only the data folder. I create on the data folder, and then when we will start the Confluent platform, it will create all those things, right? We'll see in practical. So once I have extracted this, and now I will show you the environmental variable. The same way that in the bash file, dash RC file, right? Go to the end and see. I have the first, definitely you have to export the Java home first. Without Java it will not work, and then configure platform. This is the environmental variables I have set. First I have set by configured home, right, where I have extracted. I configured the path, and after that I put it here, and after that I add this configured home path into the system path variables. And after that, one more variables I have exported confluent current for the logs. So I created data folder inside this only, and after that, after data, the confluent will automatically will create required folders. We don't need to create, right? So this is the only environmental variables we have to create once done. So what we have to do, many people has a problem that even though after setting these environmental variables, command doesn't work, right? So why? Because we have to check first whether it has configured and it is exporting on your command prompt or not, right? So this we have to use like this. Yeah, it is exporting, right? It means Java will work. Right. And home, it is also there in my path. If your this environmental variable is in your path, then your command will work. If it is not in your path, it will not work. If it doesn't display in your machine, then what you have to do, you have to exit and you have to open terminal again, right? But in my case, it is showing here, right? So these were the basic configuration, like download and create some required environmental variables, right? And now how to set the Java home confluent, I have mentioned here that go to the home directory -rc file and make sure this -rc file is the hidden file. It starts with the dot and you will get this file under the home directory, nowhere else. So be careful that this is the inside home directory, right? And I have exported all the required environmental variables, and after that I have created one folder data inside my home directory of the confluent, right? That is enough to start the confluent, right? So now my confluent has been configured, right? How easy it is, right? Now I will start my confluent. So there is a command to start the confluent, right? So now the agenda one is complete. Now we'll see start, how to start and explore, right? So these are the command, confluent local start, right? Confluent local start is the command to start the confluent. I'll show you here the performance, how it will use your memory, right? So be careful, your system will be hanged, it uses huge memory. Confluent local start, only one command. If I will run only one command, it will start all the servers, Zookeeper, Kafka Broker, and so many servers you will see here. You can see the first Zookeeper is up. And you can also see the memory, it is utilization, it is increasing, right? 48.3%, it will go up to 90%, and at one moment maybe it may hang. Yesterday somebody asked me, right, what is the easiest way to install this Kafka? This is the easiest way. But this is just, it will run on the one node. You cannot make a clusters, right? Because this is the community version, only one broker will run. One broker will run here, right? So if you want to run multiple brokers, then you have to buy that commercial product. And commercial product no free for 1 month only, right? So I have installed only the community version. So here only one one broker will run, right? You can see the utilization of the memory is 6.7 GB. 6.7 GB, right? And now my all the server is up and running. Zookeeper is running, Kafka is running, schema registry is running. No need to worry about too much because so many servers are running here, right? So we will see how to work on each, right? Today, so now this is the easiest way I have started, right? I have started the system, Confluent platform. And you can see the memory utilization. So start to call your services so that your Confluent can have enough memory, right? Now, if my server is running, so if I want to stop my Confluent platform, right? So how we can stop the Confluent platform? So Confluent local, the first check the status, right? This is the way how we can see the status, right? You can see all the server is up and running, right? Now, if I want to stop, right? So how I can stop? Confluent local stop. It will stop all my Confluent servers. Hope this is clear now to you, everyone. Any questions? Any doubts? Hello.
Participants, any
Hello?
question?
Any questions you can ask?
Any doubts, any questions you can ask?
Okay, let's move forward then. No questions, good. So we know, right, that our system is up. How to start the Confluent platforms, how to check the status, and how to stop the Confluent platform, right? Now let me start again. So Confluent makes our Kafka life easy. That is one command and it will start all the servers, right? So this is the easiest way to configure the Kafka on your machines. And you can see here, right? There's the one message. The local commands are intended for the single node development environment. Actually, this is for the development environment. You cannot make clusters, right? Because these are commercial. It is taking time because it is, starting all the servers. Okay, all the servers up and running, right? Now let's move to the slides. Now you can see that how to start Confluent local start. If I want to check the status, local status, Confluent local status. If I want to stop, local stop, right? Okay, my server is running now. I want to check the port, whether the port is working properly or not, right? So we have all the servers running, we have to test. The Confluent says that all your server is running on a particular port, right? So these are the list of the port. When you start your Confluent, then it works on different port, right? Kafka Broker is running on 9092 port. Your Confluent Control Center is running on 9021 port, and these are the listing of port. So we will check all the port whether it really is working or not, right? So how to test the port whether it is working? It is showing here this is up, but we will test all the port, right? So how to test? So we will use the telnet command to test this port whether all these ports are opening up and running, right? So if the telnet is not installed, so install telnet, and I have installed already. So you have to test because all your server is working in the same machine. So I'm using the local host, right? And let's give the port number 9092, right? Yeah, you can see here, right? Connected, right? Connected. It's 9092 port is working, right? Now check 9021. I'm checking, right? Connection refused. You can see here. Control center, connection refused. Okay, 8083. 8083. 8083 is working, right? Okay. So here for Confluent control center we have 9021. 9021 the port number. I have mentioned the wrong one. So this is the port number. Like this we can check whether all my application the component is working on the particular which is given by the Confluent official Confluent document, it is working properly or not, right? So this is the way how we can check our servers whether the server is working or not, right? So this is the port already listed. So you using telnet command, you can test whether all the port is working properly or not, right? So this is the way to test. Just listing in your document. Now here, if the server is running, so how I can check the logs, right? If something happened and you have to check the log, so this is the command Confluent local log and write your, which log you want to. You want to check the Zookeeper log, so you want to check the Kafka log, or you want to check the schema registry, or whatever the log you want to check. You have to write these commands, right? So what is going on? So to analyze and to fix the problems, you need logs, right? So check here command Confluent local log. I want to see what is going on the Zookeeper, right? So these are the logs. So you can read it. If any problem, you can check it the logs from here and you can fix the problem. You can see here this is already running. My Zookeeper is running on the 2181 port, right? So this is the way to check the logs. If I want to check the log of Kafka, right, brokers. So this is the way, right? My Kafka broker is also running. So log is important to fix the problem. If any problems arise, then log help you to analyze and fix the bugs, right? Okay, you can see here list all available services. If you want to see what are the services available and up and running, so this is the command Confluent local list. We'll check. Yeah, so these are the services up and running, right? And now if you want to check the where is my log path, all the log where it is stored, right? So we'll check Confluent local current. Right? This is my log path. It will give you the log path that my logs is available inside this folder, right? And in the last session, what we have seen that for Kafka, for Zookeeper, we have to create the folder inside the data folder, right? But today I have created only the data folder inside, and the rest of the folders, required folder, will be created by the Confluent platform, right? So let's see what are there, right? Because the Confluent platform runs so many servers, right? So it creates so many. You can see here 7, right? 7 server Confluent platform is running. So it created 7 folders. Yesterday I was creating only Kafka and Zookeeper, right? So Confluent automate this. We don't need to manually create the folder inside data folder. Just we have the path up to the folder into the Confluent current environmental variables, right? And our data, all the data for the Kafka, it is stored in the Kafka folder. You can see here in the Kafka again we have data folders, and this is how the Confluent manage your data, right? These are the internals, how on the disk the Confluent manage your data, right? So now my Confluent platform is up and running, and I know how to stop, how to check the status, how to start, everything we have seen, right? So now we can create a topic, right? So similar command, just like normal we have seen so far. So same command will run here. How easy? You don't need to worry. Yesterday I was running so many commands, right? Zookeeper commands and others commands, right? But here only one command and it will run all the servers. Even yesterday I was not running all these servers. Schema registry I was not running. Kafka REST. Imagine if I have to do manually, it would be a huge effort, right? You have to run all manually. So it will a big problem. So this is how the Confluent solve problems, right? For the big company uses this Confluent platform. So let's see if I want to create topics. And we have to be very careful that creating topic, I'm not mentioning here right replication factor, because the by default replication factor is 1, right? Because one broker is running on my machines, I cannot create multiple replication factors, right? Confluent support only one node broker in community version, so you cannot test your multiple replication factors here. Yeah, you can do it partitions. You can partitions 3. But you cannot test your replication factors. By default, it will create only one copy. Okay, topic text is already exist. I have created already, right? So let's say topic 5, test 5. The same command, what we have learned so far now, we will create the same command, we can produce data, we can see, right? So this is how I created in Confluent platform, right? I have created the topic, the first topic I have created, and if I want to see the detail, so we know, right, describe. That's fine. Bootstrap server. Oh, 181. Yeah, you can see here, right? That in this you can see the replication automatically. It will give you the replication factor 1, and you have 3 partitions, right? 0, 1, 2. Because while creating, I have mentioned here the partition number 3, and because only one broker is running, that's why the broker 0 is the leader of all partitions, right? And in ISR list, you will see only the 0. If 0 is down, your data is 1. Right, you cannot get the data because you have only one machine, one broker is running, and there is no cluster, there is no multiple brokers, right? So this is for the testing and development purpose. If you want to develop your producer and consumer, so it is the best idea to install the Confluent platform easily and just test your producers and consumer applications, right? So similarly, I can produce data, I can consume data, whatever we have seen so far, right? So this is the way, like we know the command, right? Kafka topic list, to list all topics, to describe, right? To produce the data, right? So let's see here. I'm going to produce data, and then I will move to the dashboard of the Confluent, right? So we will see there console producer host 9092 topic test file. Console producer. Yes, right? You can set message 1, whatever the message you want to send it, right? You know these things, right? Right now, because I have not entered here over parameters from beginning, that's why it will not show you from beginning. It will give you the live data. Yesterday, somebody asked that why I'm reading the data, like randomly. Actually, we don't read data randomly. It goes sequence by sequence. As you will put the data, it will display your data, right? Because I was using the command from beginning. Normally we don't use that command. This is for the historical data if you want to get all the data. So in real environment, just we run this command and you can see whatever the message I will give from here. One by one it will go, right? It is reading in the sequence, right? It is reading in the sequence because I was using yesterday that from the beginning. That's why it was reading all the partitions randomly. Some data maybe it goes to the partition 0, partition 1, and partition 2. So in every partition we have some offset, right? From 0 it will start, right? So that was the reason that it was not in the sequence over. But if you run like this, so you will see that whenever you message, as the message is pushed to the Kafka in topic. In the first class, in the first day, I told you that the Kafka topic is like a queue. The data goes from the one end and the data read from the other end. You can see here, right? I'm sending the data and consumer is reading the data exactly in the sequence, right? Right. So this is the way how we can use the Confluent platform and how we can create and how we can console, how you can use a console producer and the console consumer. Now let's move to explore the control center. Control center, the Confluent provide very good control center, right? To do on manually using UI. You don't need to run so many commands, and I will see some features there, right? So let's see. Right. So now we will access. To access the Confluent Control Center, the port number is 9021. Right, localhost 9021. So go there, but make sure your system would have enough memory. Otherwise, it will down your system. So let's move. It will hang your system. You can see here 7.2 GB. Already it is used, and I have 7.7 GB, right? And when I will access the control center, it may hang, maybe, because yesterday I was stuck. So better I will, close all my unnecessary tabs. It will slow down my package system. Okay, now done, right? Now I have I already utilized 7 GB, right? But let's try Confluent. This is the control center, right? And you will see the memory here. See, it will start increasing. So you must have minimum 8 GB. Now we have on 7 GB. I'm using 7 GB, right? You can see here, right? This is very good UI. From UI, you can get all the information, required information. So right now, you can see here the cluster. Cluster name is control center dot clusters, and this cluster is running. And the broker is one broker. In that broker, we have 234 partitions, 50 topics, total topics, right? And these are the details. And this broker is connected with the KSQL clusters and connected clusters. Right. So if you want to see all the topics here, to come here, you can see here control center clusters. So click here and you will see so many options are there. So it is listing your the brokers are one broker is up and running, 50 topics are there, right? 50 topics are there, and so many informations you will get, right? So see about particular brokers, what is going on in the brokers, right? You can get all the information regarding brokers. Drupal is up and running. Right, you can get all the information. See, very good UI is provided by the Confluent platform. So I have turned off all the services because always there is a problem, the memory problems. You have to make sure it's always memory. Now you can see here whatever the topics I have created, it is listing here, right? It is very good to see, right? I have created test 5 and I have created for testing purpose all this, right? So let's see, I have created test 5 and I have entered some data, right? I produced some data. So see how to see the data from UI, right? You can see here when I click on the test 5 my topic, and you can see the detail of my topic that available, and how many partitions we have and how many replicas we have, right? So you can see all this information here. Now I want to see the message, whatever the message I have pulled, how I can see, right? So here is the messages, go to the messages, right? I have to now expand this. Now you can see here, right? So come here offset, right? Click on the offset, press 0 or 1, whatever. So it will show you that all the partitions, right? It's listing here partition 0, 1, 2. I want to see the data of the partition 0. Right, see here. It is very easy. On the UI, I can see my data, right? What are the data I have sent here? The value is this, right? Message 75 I have sent, and this message, and you can see the what is the offset number, right? It starts from 0. I told you in every partition, the message push and the offset ID is given. The first message 1, right? This was the first message, and it is given the offset 0, and next message 1, 2 like this, right? So go to the another partitions, and you will see here. Right, in this partition 1, we have a 5 message, and it starts from 0 to 4, offset number 0 to 4, right? And you will see the message here, right? That the producer writes some message. When we send the message, producer writes some message to partition 1, some message to partition 2, partition 0, right? Like this. So this is the way how I can explore our topics, right, on UI, right? So I have created from the command line, and I can see the data from the UI, right? So let's see, create some topic from the UI. So go back here, right? Here add topics, right? Add topic. So create add topics, and I create student 1, and how many partitions we want? Here 1, 2, right? Whatever. So let's say I want to create 5, right? So create options 5, and now it will create my 5 options. Now here either you want to create with default configurations, and you need some customization. There are so many parameters, right? So better let me create with the default settings. Right, you can see here my student 1 topic is created, and in that we have 5 partitions, right? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So this is how we create the topic from UI, from control center. So this is very easy, right? No need to write, but you know, for the learning purpose, the UI is the from the command line is the best. You will understand what is going on behind the scene, what command is being executed. So we have seen, but now you can see here how it is easy, right? But here, if you see here, what is the data here? But we can see there is no data, right? It is listing all my partitions, but there is no data, right? In the student 1, let's produce some data. No. Now here I'm producing some data in student 1. I have created, right? Student 1. This is the topic. I'm producing some data from the command line, right? And I console producer. For control producers, I use Jupyter or broker list 2181 or better. Broker list, broker list and 9092. Now you can select message 1, message 2, message 3. What is the message? Like this, right? I created a topic from the UI and I'm sending message from the console producer, right? Let's see where is my data is, right? You can see here data. As I was entering the data, you can see here my data is on UI, right? In the partitions 1. Right? Now go to the partition 0 and see your data. Sometimes it takes time to reflect on your control center. So don't worry, it takes some time. So don't be confused. You can see my data, right? I have entered from the console and you can visualize it from here. We can see that. We can see our data, right? And with detail, right? Partitions number, offset number. It is very good to debug if you are a programmer and you have to write your producer and consumer applications. So that will help a lot, right? So this is the way how we create topics. We can send the data, we can see the data, right? So this helps, this content platforms help a lot. But we have seen so many things, right? So this is not a topic of today's discussion. This is one course itself, is a complete course. So here this is the connector I told you, right? For data export or import, if you want to do, you can create your connector from here and you can export import data from here. This is a PSQL DB to run your queries from here, right? So this is way to we can run some queries, right? So this is how on the Confluent control center, right? We use this. Right, so already we know how to access the Confluent control centers, how to create topics, how to list all the data, right? So we are done with this, right? That we have installed the Confluent on Ubuntu, and we have started and explored Confluent platform on Ubuntu. Now it is for the developer. That right now to produce data, I was using console, right? I was using the console producer, right? But in the production server, we don't use this. Is for the testing tools to test the data, right? But in the real scenario, you have to write your own producer application using producer API, right? So today we will see how to write producer API, right? And once our API is created, how to create the jar file and then deploy on the production server, right? To produce some data, right? So to produce data, what we have to do is we have to stop this Confluent is very huge. If I will run this IntelliJ IDEA, this is the IDE I'm using to write my code. If I will run this, it may hang my systems, right? So what I do is to run these things. So what I will do, I will stop this Confluent platform and I will use the core installations of Kafka. Hope you understand all those things. Any questions? Hello participant, if you have any doubts and questions, you can ask. Hello?
Any doubts or questions? Sir, I think
if any doubt,
no questions, so
okay. Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. So because I'm going to write my own producer application, so I will shut down this Confluent is very heavy. My system will be hanged. So I will shut down all my Confluent platform right now. And I will use core. Right. To stop, Confluent local stop. Right. Okay, good. Now you can see the memory 2.2, 2.3, right? Imagine it's take 4 GB or 5 GB RAM. use. So if you have less RAM, then it is very difficult to run, right? Minimum 8 GB, and you have to close all the services, unnecessary services. You have to stop. So now we'll see how to write. So to run your application, producer or consumer applications, first we have to check your Kafka, right? Right now I was using the Confluent platform, but I don't want to use Confluent platform because of the less memory available I have. If I will run IntelliJ IDEA and Confluent together, it will conflict and my system will be hanged. So for production, for development, I will use the Kafka, the normal, right? The core one installation, right? So to use that one, first what we have to do, that in the bash rc file, I will, otherwise it will conflict. So what I will do here, that I will comment this. I don't want to use Confluent, right? I don't want to use Confluent. I want to use this installation, the core one. So it is a lightweight. And actually, I have shown you the lightweight one. Actually, we use this one to, deploy our Kafka on the productions. So I have a Java here and I have a code. Kafka. What we have to do, just remove all. And I will create here make directory Kafka and Zookeeper, right? Manual. I'm going to run manually, right? So I have created this one and I will set the path. We know this thing, right? We have done yesterday, right? Attach with the path of the Zookeeper. Zookeeper will store the data here. Now, server.properties. We have already broker ID 0, okay. Address is this machine, okay. And for the local machine, let's see. Okay. And this is the path of the Kafka brokers. Okay, it is already there. We have to check configurations very carefully. Now we have this, right? Zookeeper running on the local machine, right? On the locally. So this will on the local or your address or IP address of the machine, localhost. Right, I'm done. Now I will start Zookeeper, right? Zookeeper server start and parameter file. Yeah, it is already minded to 181. It is running. Now, always I run from the config folder. Server start server.properties file. Yeah. Say larger than the available application factors. Okay, we had some data already, right? It's creating a problem because this is the old. This is a problem because yesterday I have configured the cluster, right? And I'm using the same folder, just I have deleted the data, but it manage some log on the different place as well. That's why it is creating this problem. So what we'll do, I will just I will extract again the new folder. extracted, because we have created yesterday cluster, right? That's what this was the problem, because the cluster is not up and running, some data is there and there's an inconsistency. That's why it was creating a problem, right? Now we can see our Kafka is there, right? CD Kafka. Now we will create a directory. Inside data we create Kafka directory. Zookeeper I have created. So we configure. This path. Port number leave it, port number default 2181. Equal to star. Now server dot properties file. Leave a broker ID like this. Localhost 9092. And now the log directory. Now the final one, the Zookeeper connections. Already the localhost 2181. Now there are not really problem, so these are fresh. So run Zookeeper server start Zookeeper. And make sure you have to run Zookeeper first. Kafka server start server.properties. Yeah, it is running right. Now my server is up and running. Now we will see how to test my application, producer API, how I will write this. Right. I do the IntelliJ IDEA. You can use Eclipse. No, in company what we do is we write our own consumer, we write our own producer. We don't use that console producer, console consumer, right? Because this is for the testing purpose, whether your system is working up and running or not, right? So these applications I have created a small basic for consumer. So how it will consume, it will get the data from the topic 2, right? And then it will connect with the port number 22. Let me explain something first. Here I have created the jar. You can see I have created some jar. So this jar will run independently, right? Because I have compiled all this programs, and then I created the jar, and we can deploy this jar on any machine, right? So let's see something here first, that yes, I have created one jar here for producer, right? This is the producer jar I have created. So let's produce some data with my jar. See, so I will show you first how to use this jar, right? So you will copy this jar anywhere on any cluster if you are running, right? The Kafka clusters. And what we have to do is we have to run this jar. I have created. I will show you later how to create the jar. So this is the jar file for producer. It will produce some data, right? So how Java -jar, right? This is my jar name, right? And after that I have to pass some topics. What are the topics, right? So I have not created any topics so far. So let's create some topics, right? Kafka topics, create bookkeeper localhost 181 topic test. Sorry, I forgot the partitions. Right. Partitions number 3. I give you the 3 partitions. I could create bookkeeper host number topic test hyphen partitions. Let's see where is the problem. My command. Okay, we need to specify replication factor as well. Replication factor 1, because one broker is running. I have created the test topic, right? Test topic I have created. Now I will put the data into the test. Yeah, data has been pushed. Data has been pushed already. I have not I'm not printing any message here, but data has been pushed right into the test. How to test? I have created. Now I have consumer console, right? I can test. Check Kafka console consumer hyphen focus. Broker servers. Zookeeper, I will use here broker servers. And thank you, right? Localhost 9092. Really, I'm confused here. Broker. Bootstrap servers. Bootstrap server. Okay. Produce again. You can see data here, right? You can see data here. I am producing and it is receiving the data, right? So how I am producing the data? I have created one producer API. Producer jar, right? I created the jar and I will copy this jar anywhere in the system and it will produce data, right? So see, produce again, right? Produce again into the test, right? It is already submitted the data, produce data. You can see here, see, it is repeating, right? So what are the messages? I run the loop, inside loop, I run these messages. So see, it is keep repeating, right? Right. So we can run. Right. So this is the way in a company we write similar like the producer, right? So I have written consumer as well. Right now I'm using the consumer console, right? So to see the data, right? To see this data. But what we'll do is that I have consumer as well. Let's check. Consumer here, right? I have created consumer application as well. This is my jar consumer, right? So what I will do is I will run this jar. I will stop it. Console consumer I have stored. I am not using to get the data from the console. I will use my own custom consumer, right? I have created, right? So how I will run? So to run this, java-jar and give your consumer applications and tell them where to from which topic it should consume the data, right? So I'm writing here the test. My topic name is test, and it will read the data from test topic, right? You can see here, right? All the message it start reading right from the beginning, and now produce some data from here. Again, you will see, right? I am running. I'm running this producer. It will produce some data, right? And this is already produced data, right? So clear this screen. Now you can see this is my producer application, and this is my on the right hand side the consumer applications. I am running the jar, right? I built the applications, I created the jar file, and I'm running and I'm passing the topic name that produced data into the test topic, right? It is produced, and you can see the consumer applications received all the data, right? So this is how our custom producer API and the custom consumer API works, right? So in the company we write our own application. So how to write? Hope this you understand, right? Hello everyone. If you have any doubts here, I have done nothing. Just what I have done, I have created my own producer and own consumers, and I'm showing how to run this producer application and the consumer applications, and it will work independently. If you have a cluster 5 or 10 PC, then you can run this jar on different PC, and it will work together. It will communicate each other internally, right? So I have created internally applications, independent standalone application for the consumer and standalone application for the producer. Hope understand this one. Hello everyone, any questions? Hello?
Understood, sir.
Anyone? Any doubts? Any questions? Okay, let me move forward. Now I will explain you the code, right? I shown you how to use your jar file, how to deploy your jar file. And normally we deploy jar file, using cron job. We write these things and schedulers. We put our for scheduling, and it keeps repeating and it keep reading the data. Using scheduler, even we can run all this jar, right? So see here now how I have written, right? So first I will create the Maven project. I have created the Maven project. Inside Maven projects, I have created package CITTU examples Kafka consumer apps. I have created one package. Inside package, I have created this my class. My class name is Kafka Auto Consumer, right? So in that class, I have written this code. I have written this code. This is the for consumer, right? I'm showing you the consumer code first, right? So here you can see I'm passing this very easy step. First, what we have to do is you have to get the topic. You have to tell the server. So what is the server IP and port number, right? And you have to set your properties. These are the properties you have to set, right? So once you set the properties, right? After that, you will create the consumer object, right? I'm creating the consumer object here, right? And I'm passing that your key and value. Actually, in the Kafka, we send our data in the form of key and value. So far, we have sent our data only value. The key was none. Whatever we have done so far, we have sent the data only value. We didn't send the key, right? But in the programming, we have to write this thing that the key is also a string and the value is also a string, and we have to pass these properties, whatever the properties I have set, right? It will create the consumer object. After that consumer.subscribe, that we will subscribe the topic from which topic consumer has to read the data. So this is the way how to specify the topic name, right? Whatever the topic we will pass, it will read. It will consumer will subscribe those topic, and after that I run the loop here, right? And then the subscribers will subscribe some data, right? 1 record, 2 record, 100 record, whatever the record in one time, right? So here it will I created consumer records, right? And objects here, and I'm using consumer.poll. In every 1000 millisecond, consumer will hit the topic and it will pull the data, right? And it will return the records. That's why I created consumer records. It means more than one record, right? So this consumer will hit my topic. It will read every 1000 millisecond. You can specify how often your consumer must read your topic, right? So this is the way I specified. You can specify 5000 or 10,000, whatever like you want, like your consumer must read every second or every 5 seconds. So you can specify there. So it will return multiple records, right? And after that I will iterate that records into its record. So this I created consumer record, another object. It will store one record at a time. So I'm iterating records. Each record in every loop it will go to the record object, and I am printing the complete value from the record. So inside record you will get the record.topic, topic name, record.partitions, partitions number, offset number, record.key, and record.value. This is how it is printing here. You can see here, right? Topic test, partitions 1, offset 20, right? The key and the value, whatever I have written here, right? It is printing like this, right? So this is a very simple, very basic code. I have run these things, right? And to run even from the command prompt you can run from the command prompt, right? Our server is up and running. What we have to do, you have to run this command from here, right? See, my consumer is running. So producer has to produce some data, then my consumer will read, right? Created some script here. Yeah? No, always we have to run some commands, right? So all those commands we can run from here. In the script folders, I have put all the commands here, and even I put some jar file, that the producer file, right? So from here I can produce some data. So let's go inside there. I can run. This is my jar file, and the topic name is test, right? It is publishing some data. Now check your consumer. Yeah, the consumer is getting, my consumer application is getting the data, right? So here I run my producer. It is generating some data, and you can see that I have run the consumer application from here, and it is receiving data on the consumer side, right? So for these things, what I have done, form file is very important. Once you will create your applications, you have to put some dependencies here. So very basic dependency I need Kafka client. I need Kafka client here. You can see the Kafka client 2.5.0 I have created. Right. So let me show how I have created this one. Right. So I will create a new project. You can see here I'm creating the new project. Right. Go to the projects here. Select the Maven project. Right. I think you know about the Maven, right? Maven stores the dependencies. Right. Give some name. I'm going to write consumer test apps, right? And I can give like okay over cit.tu examples Kafka. You can give your group ID whatever you want. I'm giving like this, right? And artifact ID is this, and my Kafka consumers group ID. You can give whatever you want, right? So, and this is the location where it will create, right? This is my inside the Kafka consumers. inside it will create here, right? It will create here. Kafka, inside the Kafka consumer, let me create another folder here. Right. Consumer test. I will select consumer test. Inside consumer test, I want to create this project. I'd like consumer test. And my name, project name is consumer test. And finish it. Now better open in the new Windows. Now my project is created, right? The first thing what we have to do, that the POM file, we have to set the POM file. This is a very important file. If you will not set, there is a problem, right? Because we need the dependencies, right? So we know the dependency, what we do, we copy paste the dependency. So I copy this, I paste it here, right? So because I need that Kafka client and how to build, so I mentioned here, right? This is the way, but I will change this one because my class name would be maybe different. So this is the complete class name with the package name, right? So now I have set the POM file, right? So what I will do is I'll go to the source main Java. Inside Java, I will create package. I'll create package here. Right? My package name CITTU, whatever you want to give, Kafka dot consumer app. Right? I created, right? Consumer app. And now I will create the class. I'll create consumer app. Give any name, whatever you want. Consumer app. Right? It has created, right? It has created my class file, right? Now this is my package name, right? This is my package name. Go to your POM file and update that one. This one, right? So you will write here CITTU examples Kafka. It will list, right? I have here. You have to give the full path. This is the complete the package. This up to here is the complete package, and this is your class name, right? So you have to set this thing. This is very important. Now you will see here. Now it will download automatically your Kafka client, right? How it will download? I'll show you. Right, you will see there is no Kafka client and no, your dependencies, right? So because this is a Maven project, that's why we do the Maven. Automatically it will download. So what we have to do? Go to the Maven on the right side, right? Right side here. Right, in the life cycle, right? In the life cycle, clean it, run, right? Now refresh. You can see the dependency, right? It automatically, it will, download and it will add into your folders. You don't need to manually install all the dependencies here. That's why we use the Maven project. Just you have to specify all the dependencies here and all the related dependencies. It will download for you, right? It will add for you. So I'm done with that. I created the project, consumer project, right? To write the consumer API, I added the required dependencies here, and this is the class. I will write the code, right? So the same code, let me copy paste from here. Right. Otherwise it will take time. So the same code I'm writing here. Right. Yeah, I have not created the main. It is starting one and then right. So and what I will do is I will use here the argument. I will not fix it, right? So once I will run, it will ask me, and I fix it. Even if you don't want to fix, so you can pass here ARD1, leave it like this, right? when I will run my jar, so I have to pass the topic name and the server. Where is my server? On which port it is running, right? So it will pass here, it will pass here, then it will create the consumer object, it will subscribe my topic, it will get the data every 1 second, it will hit the topic and it will read the data, it will store into the multiple records into the records object, and after that I created one record here and it will iterate all the record one by one and I'm printing here. These are very basic consumers. For your understanding, I have created, right? So this is how I created the consumer. I'm done now, right? So what you have to do is that you have to run. But when you have to run, you have to pass this, right? You have to pass these two parameters. So how you will run this, right? So for run, if I will run, it will ask me. See, yeah, this is the problem. So I will run here. Parameters I will pass from here, right? I have already tested, right? And another parameter is localhost 9092, right? I'm passing the parameters from here, right? So now my application is running. My application is perfectly running, but you are not seeing any message here because I did not produce any data right now. So let me produce some data here, right? So I have how to produce. So come here, and we know right how to produce. So I have one producer API, or you can use console producer to produce some data for testing purpose. So I have my producer here is the test. I'm passing here the test, right? And it will produce some data here, right? It has produced this. Let's see in the here, right? You can see here, right? Message to it is start reading, right? And because here, why it is showing here the view message, because the two consumer is running. Let me close one consumer. Right. Let me produce again. Yeah, you can see it. All data you can see here. If you produce here, you can see that it is listing your data here, right? Clear all. Run your producer. My consumer is running in my ID. Yeah, you can see data here, right? Your consumer application is working fine. It is getting the data from the test, right? So this is how I have created the consumer application, right? So right now the consumer application is working in my IDE. Now I want to create the jar file. So how I can create the jar file? And I'm telling you, these are very basic parameters I have used here. You can explore these parameters. Go to the Apache Kafka website and you will see the producer API, and you will get a lot of information there. What parameters I can use. You can see here Apache Kafka producer API. Documentations. You can see here, right? So you will get a lot of information from here. What are the parameters I had to use? See, this is the like dependency I have added from here, right? This dependency in the form file I have added, right? So you can get related to all this API what you will use, and the parameters here you will see what are the parameters, what are the meaning of these parameters, what is the value. You can get all the information from here. You can explore it, right? So this for information I have told you. So this is the way I have created my consumer applications. And now I'm going to create a jar, right? How I can create a jar and I can deploy on the machine, right? So to create a jar, what we have to do is, right? I think we understand how we will create the project, right? Project is running, consumer is running perfectly. Now I stop this, right? And now I'm showing you how to create the jar. To create the jar, what we have to do is, you have to go to the file and go to the project structure, right? Go to the project structure, go to the artifact, add artifact from modules with dependencies, right? And select your main class. This is your main class, right? And very important thing, you have to change here main. After main, we have to write here resources. You will see inside main we have one resources folder, right? So I will see here resources folder. You have to select the resource. Don't forget to select the resource. By default it is Java. You have to select your resource folder, right? I have selected the resource folder and I am done. It will list all the dependencies here. Right, I am done. Now I will go to the build and there is a build artifacts, right? Select the build artifacts, right? Select build. Now done, right? You can see it created the output directory, right? It has created the out directory. Inside out directory, you have your jar ready. Right, this jar. Now this jar is a distributed application. This is a consumer. You can deploy this application anywhere in your clusters, right? So see how I run this, right? So I'll go to the folder. I have created consumer, right? So this is my folder, right? Inside this, I have out directory. Here my jar is ready. Right, inside I have a jar file, right? Now see, it will work now. Right. How to run jar file? Java-jar and then your jar name, pass your topic, and you have to pass the local host and the port number of your brokers, right? Now it is running, right? It is running. Just what you have to do now, you have to produce some data, right? You have to produce some data. So I have my producer already, right? I have created. So produce some data. Yeah, see, you can see here. You can see my application, consumer application is reading data, right? I'm producing from my producer, custom producer, and you can see here how the consumer is getting data, right? Hope this is clear now, everyone. How to create your consumer API? Hello. Any questions, any doubts you can ask? Anyone? Hello? Any question please? If you have any doubts you can ask. Hello?
Participants, any doubts, any questions?
Okay, then hope that this tutorial is enough to show you how to create your consumer API, and let me show you the demo of how to create your producer API, right? We have completed our consumer API. Right. So in the same way, I will create my producer as well. Just we are using the different producer API, right? In that case, I was using the consumer API. Here, I will use the producer API, right? Similar way, same way. Create the Maven project. Go to the form file. Add your dependencies, right? Same method. Add your dependencies, right? These are the and add your the class name, which full package name, right? After that, go to your Java class file, and in the class file you have to pass that the topic name. It should be from the argument or whatever, how you want to set, you can set here. And after that, these are the basic properties, that bootstrap server, acknowledgement. Remember, we have discussed the acknowledgement 0, 1, all. So I'm using all here. You can use 0 or 1, and then I'm passing here serializes. Right, and I'm creating the producer object. To produce the data. So I'm passing here parameters, properties files here, right? and now I'm producing data here using loop. I'm just simple producing. Here, this is the main logic to produce the data. Either you can read the data from file, you can read the data from MySQL. So you have to write the code here. This is the main part here. So you have to write. So for demo purpose, I have just sending the message like message 1, message 2, message 3. Simple message I am sending. But this is the where you can change your code here, right? And you can send how, and you can create a record. In the record, you can pass your topic and the key and the value. This is the key and the value I am passing here. It will create the producer record, and this producer record, how I will send producer.send, and I will send this record to the producer. It will publish that record to the specified topics. Right, this is the way how we create the producer, custom producers, right? So using producer API, I'm using here producer, right? You can see a Kafka client producer. Before I was creating the consumer, right? So this is the producer API, how to use, right? So you can use like this, and once you are done with that, because we are using Maven dependency, we know that how it will easy to download your all dependency. Go to the Maven, select clean. Don't forget to do this. After clean, refresh it. Once you are done, all the dependency will be listed here, right? It will list all your dependencies. When you are done with that, so we know, right, how to create the jar file, right? So you can run this producer directly without creating jar even, right? So first edit here, and we will write here that read data from the test, and where is your broker? Because already I have mentioned the broker, right? So no need to pass again, right? So I will pass only the topic name, right? So I'm passing only that read from this topic, and run this. So it has produced messages, right? Because I'm not printing any logs, that's why you are not seeing. Let's say I want to see the logs even, what message it is producing, right? So I can write here system.out printf, and I can print here topic name. I want to see the topic name, and just I want to see only topic name and the key and the value, right? So whatever you want to see, you can list it here. So I want to see only this, right? So record.topic, record.key, record.value. I want to see in the log that my producer is generating data, right? So I modify my programming. Right now, when it was running, it was not listing that my producer is generating some data, right? So now let me run this. Yeah, here, right? It is producing. Okay, let me set the /n, the new line, so that it will see, right. Now it is clear. Now that my producer is generating the logs, that it is generating, and this is the topic name, this is the key, and this is my message, right? Message 100 to message 200, because I run the loop from 100 to 200. This is for simple how to put the producer API to produce data. Here you can write the code to read the data from CSV file, read the data from the directory, or read the data from anywhere, RDBMS or NoSQL, anywhere. So this is the place where you can write your own code to read the data from any sources, right? So simple. I created that dummy data, right? So now I have run this, right? Producer is running. Now I can consume, right? So we have our consumer already, so we can see. You can see here, right? You can see here. Run, close this, and run your consumer application again. Right? Consumer, produce again. Yeah, you can see here, right? It is producing here. And you can see your data here, right? It is clear? right? My producer is running in my ID as consumer. I'm running from the consumer jar file, right? So in a similar way, I can my program is running here, application is running my producer API. Now I will create the jar file, right? So how to create the jar file? It is very easy. See the process. Go to the file. Go to the project structure, right? Go to the artifact, right? Select your add if it is not there, right? And already added these things, right? And just apply and okay. That's it. Once you are done with that, go to the build and build artifact. Build artifact. Once you are done with this, click here build. It will create your out directory. It will create your out directory. Inside out directory, you will get your jar here. Now your producer application is ready. Now it is a distributed application. It will generate your data, right? So if you want to run your producer from the command line, right? So open the terminal from there, better, right? So I have written my producer as well, right? Simple how to message producer, my project name. Yeah, this is my producer, right? This is the place. Now you can run here individual C standalone applications, right? So you can clean this one, right? Now run the producer. How to run? Java -jar, and after that your application's name. What is your application name? Right, it is producing. Maybe I have run that different jar file actually. It is stored in Kafka project. Let me see the path. Kafka producer, right? Kafka producers, and inside Kafka producer, simple Kafka producer. We are in the same path or not? Kafka producer and simple Kafka producer. Okay, already I am the path from here, right? So I can run from here Java -jar one simple. Now you can see here we have to pass test. You can see here, right? Now you can pass here also test the topic name. Now it is generating, right? Now it is listing your as log that you have generated the data, and your consumer is also reading the data from here. Hope you understand this, how to create a producer and how you are using producer and consumer API. And we learn how to create producer API and using producer API, and how to create jar and how to deploy, and even we have seen how to create custom consumer and how to create jar and deployment, right? Hope this session was interesting and you have understand. If you have any questions, you can ask me directly on the Shabbir Hassan 007. Any problem in the Kafka, you can write me anytime, and I will prepare a demo for you, and I will share with this link on this YouTube channel. Right. So you have any questions, any doubt, you can write me and I can prepare a demo for you. Thank you very much for this session. If you have any questions, you can ask. Anyone?
Any questions you can ask. Hello? Participants, any questions you can ask.
No questions.
Yeah. Yes. Any questions anyone can ask? Hello.
I think so, no more questions. So On behalf of Computer Science and Engineering Department, CCAV Institute of Engineering and Technology, I extend my warm thanks. Sir, we are very grateful to you for sparing your valuable time and immense knowledge on Apache Kafka. So I think it will really help many of us. And I also extend my warm thanks for all the participants also. Really thankful to you, sir.
Thank you, all right.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you. Stop. ये सर ये वैसे मेरा काम कर देता है सच मालूम भाई ये मतलब लाइव दिखा जाए सब कुछ